Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who practices estate planning, focusing on long-term care needs, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. I had previously talked about what to look out for in nursing home contracts in the form of an arbitration agreement. And so I just wanted to also share with you some other areas in a nursing home contract that you might want to be on the lookout for when you are reviewing contracts for long-term care facilities such as nursing homes or assisted living facilities. And these are just common inquiries that I receive from people when they are shopping for a facility for themselves or for loved ones. One of the things that people frequently are concerned about is whether or not a third party needs to personally guarantee payment for their loved one. Many times people, when they're going through this intake process, they might be asked, oh, and will you personally guarantee that should your loved one be short, that you will make sure that we receive payment for the resident that lives there. And many times that relative, they love their mom or their dad or their uncle, and they feel pressure to say, yes, I'll personally guarantee it, because they feel as if maybe that their loved one won't be admitted to that facility without that personal guarantee. And they can't be required to personally guarantee. They can volunteer to personally guarantee, but it's not something that is a mandatory requirement of them. And so that's something to consider. Another thing to be on the lookout for is waiver of rights. Facilities cannot ask their residents to waive rights with regards to lost or stolen property or with regards to their care, their health, their health. They're entitled to not be subject to theft, right? And they're also entitled to good care. And if their care needs increase, then the facility is supposed to accommodate their increased needs. And if that facility isn't licensed for certain level of care, then of course the conversation will be had whether or not it would be appropriate for them to be transferred to another facility that could provide them the level of care. But at no time do they waive their rights to complain or that they are entitled to a high level of care. The other thing in contracts that people might not realize is that for visiting hours, right? You might have walked into a facility where they have posted their visiting hours, but you're allowed to visit with your relative at any time. They can have guests any time of day or night, and there are no restrictions on that. You can't be turned away and told that you can't visit your loved one, because even though they encourage visiting hours during certain time, visiting hours are not things that are contractually enforceable. They have the right to visitors, and they have the right to visitors when they want them. So if they called you in the middle of the night and said they wanted your relative in a home calls you in the middle of the night and says, come, and you can't, don't feel as if you can't go because visiting hours don't start until 9 a.m. the next day. You could go and be by their bed in the middle of the night and comfort them because they are entitled to have visitors. And the other one is residence income. The facility cannot require the resident to turn over their income, their Social Security, or their other retirement benefits to the facility as a payor. It's an option. They could say, oh yes, I'm going to allow the facility to cash my checks and use and apply the payment to my account. That might be an ease of accounting for a resident, but it can't be a condition that's a requirement in the contract that says that you must turn over your Social Security check to us. The resident is entitled to their income and then can be contractually required to pay for their care. So, as long as everybody's, there's a check being cut or an auto withdrawal that's set up from their account to pay the bill, there's no requirement for the resident to have the facility be able to just take and cash their checks. And that's just a safeguard that we really want to put in place, because, you know, historically there has been exploitation of elders financially, and so that's of great concern. So those would be things to look out for in contracts when you are looking at long-term care facilities. So just to be helpful to you, I hope that this has been a good share, and if it has, I ask that you like and share with others. And as always, thank you for joining me.